What? They've cancelled Christmas? Really? Hi guys, it's time to do another update for September for when visitors can arrive in Thailand. Last time we had a chat, we had a walk down Beach Road, and then the next time was Bukhao. So this time, how about we have a walk up Soi Honey and Soi Chayapum, Pothole, while we have a chat. So Thailand wants to start opening the country up again with tourists. Up until yesterday, the plan was to start with Phuket from the beginning of October. However, there's a big problem occurred, and that is that a couple of days ago, a convicted drug dealer in prison tested positive for COVID. And now they're checking to see where he got it from, and they've decided to put everything on hold because of this one single case, if you can believe that. So now what they're talking about is pushing all the Phuket experiment plans back 1 month from October to November. But there won't be any individual travel. You won't be able to just book a flight and arrive and then wander around, book a hotel and whatever you like you used to. That's gone for the moment. So what they were planning to do was that every single tourist had to book through one single agency, Bangkok based agency called Thailand Long Stay. However, obviously the people in Phuket, the authorities in Phuket, would get nothing from that because everything's prepaid to the agency in Bangkok. So the people in Phuket, the authorities, have objected to that and put a block on it. That's not looking good. The Phuket authorities want to split this so that not everything is going through Bangkok. They want it half-half, so that half goes through the Thailand Long Stay in Bangkok and the other half comes through approved agencies in Phuket so that they get a share of it. So we're trying to sort this mess out for November so that tourists can book through an agency either in Bangkok or Phuket and book into a government approved hotel. When you pay for this trip, everything will be included for the quarantine. That includes your government approved quarantine hotel, your visa, your insurance, all documentation and COVID health checks. Now these government approved hotels are not cheap hotels. They're all 4 or 5 star luxury hotels. And of course you have to do 14 days quarantine in these hotels, and that includes hotel meals and nursing staff available 24/7 in these hotels. So you're not going to get away with less than probably around $3,000 for the 2-week stay. And you can't go beyond the hotel grounds during that 2 weeks. So pick one with a lot of space outside, like a resort type hotel. That won't be so bad. After the 14 days you have another COVID test, and if you're negative you're free to move around Phuket, but you cannot leave the island. If you want to leave the island, then you have to go for another week's quarantine in the hotel, in this expensive hotel, and have another test. And if you're still negative at the end of the other week, then they'll allow you to leave Phuket, and then you're free to travel throughout Thailand. So that's, you're looking at 3 weeks altogether before you can even leave Phuket. Obviously this option is not for 90% of tourists, because you really have to stay for a good length of time. They're saying it's for tourism, but really it's more for people who want to come here and stay long term, such as people who have family here or a business here and want to come and stay for a few months or long term, really long term. That's what it's really aimed at. So this experiment was due to start in Phuket in October, but it's looking like it's going to be pushed back until November now. And if it's successful, they will go to other cities as well, such as Bangkok, Pattaya and many others. The reason it's starting in Phuket is because it's an island and it's very easy to control who comes and goes. As far as the 14 days quarantine stuck in a hotel is concerned, that is mandatory, and looks like it's not going to change until after the end of 2020. That's the way it's looking. So if you don't want to pay very high prices in these expensive hotels, or you don't have 14 days spare you can just use for the quarantine, then it is looking like it's going to be 2021 before tourists can realistically come back to Thailand. There is something else being considered for the future, which is going to be 2021, and that's what they're calling area quarantine or area bubble. And that is where tourists will be able to come individually as they did before, not through an agency, but they still have to stay in an approved, government approved hotel for the quarantine, for the 14 days quarantine, and it's still going to be expensive. With this idea, you'd have to pay for and arrange everything yourself, like the visas and health checks, health certificates. And when they say area quarantine, what that means is you're only allowed within 1 kilometre of the hotel. You can't go any further than that. So if there's somewhere in particular you wanted to go and visit on a regular basis, make sure the hotel's within 1 kilometre of that place, whatever it is. But bear in mind, this last one is only an idea being considered at the moment. It's not official, and it won't be until 2021 anyway. So realistically, unless you have a pressing personal reason to come to Thailand this year, such as family, or you have a job to come back to, you're really not going to be worth bothering. You better forget the whole thing until next year and then see how things work out, because it's not looking good for this year, really. So that's all the information that I have at the moment. If you like the video, please subscribe, like, share, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. And thank you very much for watching.